Last week, foreign ministers from the Group of Seven were finally having their first in-person meeting in 2 years in London. Apparently, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will not miss out on this opportunity to peddle his China threat conspiracy. There's a session dedicated entirely to China. The G7 top diplomats ended up accusing China of being coercive. Yet, the United States maneuvered a bunch of allies into grumpily labeling China coercive. Isn't that exactly the kind of behavior of a coercive bully and his buddies? I'm Zhang Zhao, and this is Xinhua Commentary. Apart from a number of unquestionable events recorded in history, even the most recent ones have proven the United States is the very one that has been addicted to practicing coercive policies. It has a wide range of tools to deal with targeted countries, including sanctions, intimidations, stoking chaos, and forming inglorious clique. Over the years, Washington has been sparing no effort to slander China on issues like Xinjiang and Hong Kong. Under the guise of human rights and democracy, the U.S. never tires of interfering in China's internal affairs and peddling its China threat conspiracy. It also waged a trade war and a tech war against China, used long-arm jurisdiction to illegally arrest Chinese citizens, and put unwarranted pressure on Chinese companies in order to cripple the international competitiveness of Chinese companies and contain China's development. Of course, China is only one of the targets of U.S. sanctions. The world has also seen how Washington has sought to defame and push Iran, Venezuela, Cuba to compromise through exerting pressure. It has unilaterally withdrawn from the Iran nuclear deal, stepped up sanctions on Iran, and choked off Venezuela's crude exports. Not to mention its invasions into Afghanistan and Iraq, triggering humanitarian crises. European countries are not immune from this coercive diplomacy and suppression as well. During his visit to Brussels in March, Blinken also threatened to impose sanctions on German companies building the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, a project Germany and some other European countries want so badly for energy. Behind such coercive diplomacy are the U.S. illusion of hegemony, addiction to egotism, and selfish calculation to maximize its own profits at the expense of global interests. However, the interests of all countries are highly intertwined in this age of globalization. Washington's efforts to suppress others' progress will disrupt global industrial and supply chains, and eventually shoot itself in the foot. As the coercive actions become increasingly unpopular, more countries will surely broaden their eyesight to a global scale in finding partners, and choose to keep a social distance with the United States. And that wraps up this episode of Xinhua Commentary. Until next time.